Captain Rex, ever the pragmatic soldier, stood amidst the hum of Kamino's cloning facilities, a faint sigh escaping his vocoder. Another simulation, General? With all due respect, these training exercises are becoming predictable. My troopers are ready for real action, not just target practice against these recycled training droids. Anakin Skywalker, ever the restless Jedi Knight, leaned back against a gleaming console, a wry smile playing on his lips. Ahsoka Tano, his Padawan, mirrored his posture, a spark of mischief already dancing in her eyes. Rex's words, while perhaps intended as a professional observation, landed with the slight thud of a challenge. Predictable, you say, Captain, Anakin mused, sharing a glance with Ahsoka. Perhaps we simply haven't provided enough variables. Ahsoka's grin widened. Or perhaps, she chimed in, someone needs to be reminded that even the most routine mission can go spectacularly off course if you're not on your toes. And so, born from a casual complaint and fueled by an undeniable love for bending the rules, an idea began to take shape in the minds of the two Jedi. It was playful, certainly, but also imbued with a touch of genuine curiosity. How would Rex and the 501 truly react if a training exercise devolved into utter pandemonium, orchestrated by two unexpected participants? The next day, two new clone recruits reported for duty. They were indistinguishable from any other, their faces hidden behind standard helmets, their armor gleaming in the stark Kaminoan light. One, a burly figure, introduced himself as Tank. The other, leaner and quicker, went by Thrower. Their mannerisms were gruff, their movements precise, perfectly mimicking the disciplined efficiency of their clone brethren. No one, least of all Captain Rex, suspected that beneath the plastoid armor and the synthesized voices lurked Jedi Master Anakin Skywalker and his Padawan, Ahsoka Tano. Their target, the sprawling training grounds, where Rex was overseeing a large-scale combat simulation designed to test squad cohesion and tactical response against waves of combat droids. The perfect stage for a little Jedi-engineered chaos. The exercise began routinely enough. Clone platoons advanced, taking cover, firing with practiced precision. But then, almost imperceptibly at first, things began to shift. A droid, programmed to follow a specific patrol route, suddenly veered off course, charging directly into a group of clones it was meant to bypass. Another, designed to offer minimal resistance, suddenly developed an uncanny knack for deflecting blaster fire and delivering surprisingly agile counterattacks. What in the blazes? Rex muttered, watching the monitors from the command center. Are these droids malfunctioning? Their programming is completely erratic. Down on the ground, Tank and Thrower were at the heart of the escalating pandemonium. With subtle nudges of the Force, undetectable to the casual observer, they were tweaking the droids' behavior, nudging their programming, making them aggressive, unpredictable, and ultimately haywire. What started as minor glitches quickly snowballed. Droids began overriding their own safety protocols, firing wildly, engaging targets they shouldn't, even turning on each other. The training exercise, meant to be a controlled simulation, was spiraling into genuine mayhem. A droid suddenly charged Rex's observation deck, smashing through a reinforced blast door that should have held firm. The training grounds were no longer just a testing ground, they were becoming a live combat zone. Clone troopers, caught off guard, had to quickly adapt. Rex, his voice now sharp with urgency, barked orders into his comm. This is not a drill. All units, contain the droid surge. Someone get a tech team down here to shut these things down. Through it all, Tank and Thrower moved with a curious mix of feigned struggle and uncanny effectiveness. They feigned struggle against the increasingly aggressive droids, yet somehow always managed to be in the right place to deflect a critical blaster bolt for a nearby clone, or subtly redirect an out-of-control droid away from a vital access point. Their actions, seemingly just competent soldiering, were precisely what was needed to keep the situation from becoming truly catastrophic, even as they continued to subtly fuel the chaos. The plan, as Anakin and Ahsoka might have conceived it, had backfired spectacularly. They wanted to test Rex, to give him a challenge, but they had inadvertently unleashed a base-wide emergency. Yet, even as they orchestrated the mayhem, their Jedi instincts took over. they were still protecting, still adapting, still working as a cohesive unit. The mischievous brother-sister dynamic was on full display, orchestrating chaos, then stepping up to manage its fallout, all while sharing unspoken glances of exacerbated amusement. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of chaotic skirmishes, the tech teams managed to hit the master off switch, and the rogue droids powered down, collapsing into inert heaps across the training grounds. Rex surveyed the damage, singed walls, scattered debris, and a squad of very winded clone troopers. His eyes narrowed as they landed on Tank and Thrower, who stood somewhat innocently among the exhausted clones. "You two," Rex said, his voice dangerously low. "There was something off about the way you handled that. Report to my office now." In Rex's office, the helmets came off. Rex stared, first in disbelief, then with a slow dawning comprehension, and finally with a profound sense of weary aspiration. Anakin gave an unrepentant shrug. Ahsoka let out a small triumphant laugh. "Well, Captain," Anakin began, a twinkle in his eye, "was that predictable enough for you?" Rex simply pinched the bridge of his nose, a sigh escaping him that spoke volumes. "Generals, with all due respect, you nearly brought down the entire Kamino and training complex." "But we didn't," Ahsoka countered cheerfully, "and you have to admit, your men responded admirably. They faced the unexpected, and they adapted." This humorous story, while not part of the official Star Wars timeline, perfectly captures the mischievous brother-sister dynamic between Anakin and his Padawan. It showcases their shared penchant for bending the rules, for finding humor in high-stakes situations, and their deep, trusting friendship, even when orchestrating chaos that verged on disaster. It reminds us that even heroes, burdened by galaxy-spanning wars, can find moments for playful antics, testing the limits and, in doing so, strengthening the bonds that define them. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes the most profound lessons are learned not in rigid order, but in the delightful disarray of well-intentioned mischief. What are your thoughts on this playful non-canon adventure? Have you encountered other stories that perfectly capture character dynamics in unexpected ways? Share your insights and favorite moments in the comments below. We always love hearing your perspectives.